You are listening to the East Texas Banner right here at easttexasbanner.com. Got the privilege this morning of sitting down with Cory Pomeroy. You are with the Texas Oil and Gas Association.
That's right.
I really appreciate you sitting down with us, man.
Glad to be here with you today.
So you're in Austin, but you are a native East Texaner.
Southeast Texas is where I was born, Nederland, Texas, and
Okay.
glad to be from there. Grew up in the petrochemical and industrial complex, and really enjoyed the benefits of high-paying jobs, and my family did, and moved away from there, but definitely remember it.
Yeah, no
all the
doubt.
more.
So tell us, what is Texoga?
So Texoga has been the voice for the oil and natural gas industry for 100 years.
Okay.
It represents oil and gas producers,
Okay.
pipelines, refineries like in Southeast Texas and pipelines, as well as increasingly energy export facilities and all the Texans that are employed by those facilities.
Okay. How do you see the oil and gas industry in Texas right now?
You know, Texas energy drives the state's economy.
Okay.
It drives our nation's energy security. And no matter where you live in Texas, you feel the benefits of the Texas energy industry. 40% of the nation's oil comes from Texas. If Texas were a nation, it would be the fourth largest crude producer.
Okay.
In fiscal year 2025, Texas enjoyed $27 billion in state and local taxes and royalties from the Texas oil and natural gas industry. And so there's a great impact on Texas. Most importantly, 500,000 jobs are created on behalf of the Texas oil and natural gas industry.
Okay. Why the big push right now for CCS? I mean, what's kind of the driver?
It's a tremendous opportunity. So CCS is a proven process where you are capturing carbon dioxide either from an industrial smokestack or directly from the atmosphere, which is known as direct air capture.
Okay.
And you capture it, and then you transport it by pipeline to a geological formation that can safely and securely store that CO2 permanently and for a very long time and forever. The global marketplace is demanding lower carbon products now, meaning manufacturers are wanting to produce their widgets or their products using fewer emissions,
Okay.
Emitting less carbon. And so CCS helps with that. CCS helps accomplish those goals.
Okay. Why do we feel like, it's important for Texas to be a leader in that, though?
So Texas has it all.
Okay.
They've got the geology, the expertise and workforce, and the industries that make products and widgets that need to be produced in a lower carbon fashion. And so Texas has it all. We're not the only one, though, and still we have to create policies and make sure decision making is in place to allow that to flourish.
Do you feel like this is going to have a real impact on, because in our neck of the woods, throughout East Texas, a lot of people are employed in oil and gas in some way, shape, or form, right? But what does this look like from an employment standpoint? If this is kind of I'm not going to say a new thing, but if this is a developing thing in our area, what kind of real-time, employee impact or employment impact will there be? What do you think?
I think it has tremendous potential, and it's already occurring. It's set to be $1 trillion industry, CCS is, and energy infrastructure provides well-paying jobs. We're talking about operators, we're talking about skilled trades. You're going to have jobs associated with capturing the emissions, jobs associated with pipelines that are built to transport the CO2,
right,
as well as the construction of the storage facilities themselves and the monitoring 24/7 that occurs after those facilities are constructed. So I think it has a tremendous opportunity for adding to the job profile that the Texas oil and gas industry already provides for Texas.
So you think, if we're just talking about leadership and Texas being a leader in this space, there's, from what you're saying, there's such a demand in the marketplace for this. Who's currently? I mean, is Texas kind of the leader of this deal, or is there another state out here that's kind of leading the way? Or
You've got, I think, international opportunities for CCS, and you have opportunities in the United States along the Gulf Coast.
okay,
Our neighboring states are competing for the projects that Texas is competing for, and so it's important that we get it right in Texas and provide policies and attractive policy that where business wants to come and do those projects here. Again, knowing that Texas has the geology expertise and industry to support the CCS industry, but it's not alone in those characteristics. And so Texas policy has to be right there.
gotcha. How is this, for a lot of the people in East Texas, the concern is, some of these old wells and some of these things like this. How is this stuff actually regulated? Because, when you've had a number of old wells and they're no longer producing, what's kind of some of the regulation behind this CCS stuff?
Yeah, that's a great question. Let's kind of step back a little bit and kind of talk about the process of building it and then how you deal with those wells. You acquire your site and you're looking for geological aspects, and the operator therefore is looking for a geological formation that has a confining cap rock atop it, below it, and on the sides. And those confining layers are anywhere from 50 to 2,000 feet. You're injecting inside of those confining layers into typically a sandstorm layer that's 100 to 300 feet. You're providing that information to the Railroad Commission, demonstrating that it's confined when you pump it into the sandstone, where experts say that once you pump it in there and have that confining layer, that CO2 is going to be there. 99% of that CO2 is going to be there in 1,000 years.
Okay.
And so you come up with your plan, you provide it to the Railroad Commission, it evaluates your design, your specs, and then ultimately provides the permit for it. Part of that is evaluating any conduits that would cause that confining layer to not be a confining layer, unintended pathways. And so you look for faults, make sure there's no faults there. You look for old wells and make sure that if they are communicating with the surface or providing a pathway that CO2 escape, that you either plug them or you eliminate it somehow.
Who regulates that?
The Railroad Commission of Texas, which is the energy regulator. It's a name that may throw some off, but that's the energy regulator in Texas.
So if the Railroad Commission sees the plan, they determine, okay, let's move forward, and then XYZ company out here starts injecting, then if there's a dilemma, does that dilemma get fixed by the company itself, or how does that work?
That's right. There's going to be an operator, which is essentially a service provider for taking carbon dioxide from an emitter, whether that's direct air capture or whether it's from an industrial site, and bringing that on. And so that operator holds a permit at Railroad Commission. And there are monitoring requirements, well integrity requirements. The Railroad Commission has been regulating oil and gas for 100 years.
Sure.
They know how to do this. There's no one probably in the world as good at Texas geology as the Texas Railroad Commission. So they know what they're doing. They have continuing jurisdiction, and they'll require operators to fix it if anything occurs.
What do you feel like is there really any kind of danger to this process?
Texas has been injecting CO2 underground for decades. The expertise and experience in Texas is unmatched. And so operator experience, as well as the Texas Railroad Commission's experience in regulating and highly regulating the activity, is one that should give great confidence to all Texans.
So when you say that they've been injecting for decades, is that mainly West Texas, South Texas? What are we talking about? Because for us in East Texas, you know, it seems to be a fairly new idea and concept, although it's not, right?
Yeah.
But the concept of injecting, we're familiar with injection wells for produced water, but you know, we're not familiar with injecting, you know, anything else beyond that.
Right.
So, I mean, is that more of a West Texas type of thing that's been going on, or?
What I'm talking about there is, so CCS is an emerging and nascent industry that will inject CO2 underground for as a permanent on a permanent basis. The injection of CO2 for decades that I'm referring to is the process of using CO2 for enhanced oil recovery. That occurs in West Texas and other parts of the state, all over the state. Similar technology. The only difference is the geological formation into which you're ejecting. In the EOR context, where operators have been doing that in Texas for decades, they're using CO2 to produce more oil and gas.
Right.
In the context of CCS, same well, same injection of the same substance, just finding the geological formation that can hold that CO2 in perpetuity.
Gotcha. So with East Texans out here listening, what do you want them to know about CCS?
It's a proven process that has tremendous opportunity, dramatic growth for the Texas economy. It is highly regulated. Railroad Commission, the state agency, requires design, building, operation, and monitoring. And you know, the last thing is it allows Texas to stay on the front lines of energy innovation, all while providing reliable and affordable energy for Texans, as well as high quality manufacturing jobs.
What's your title here?
I'm the Vice President and General Counsel.
Vice President and General Counsel. I appreciate you sitting down with me.
Good to be here with you today, Jay.
Thank you, man.
Take good care.